a engineer at MDOT, and he has been with us for 10 years. He is a very energetic and enthusiastic Toastmaster, and he always steps up, and he has kept the club going and energetic, and he has taken so many roles within the club. So he's like our mentor for everyone. He lives in Holt with his wife and 9-year-old daughter, Alexis. His speech today is titled, Learning to Lead. Please help me welcome wonderful leader, Greg Gottman.
Thank you for that great introduction. In August of 2013, I decided to do my high performance leadership project. In Toastmasters, you may think it's about public speaking and communication, which it is, but there's also a leadership track. And some of the leadership roles are being a Toastmaster for a meeting or being a chairman for a club speech contest. This leadership project is a little more advanced. You need to get a committee together to look over, to work with you on a project that's it's usually a project that you're passionate about, and it's a large project. I'd like to pass this book back to, if you could pass this back to Vidyas, he's going to evaluate my speech. I just wanted you to see the book there. My project was the 2012 Toastmaster World Champion of Public Speaking was coming to Grand Rapids in December. And I volunteered to chair that event, which was a 2-hour event. There was going to be about 200 or so Toastmasters and non-Toastmasters. So I was excited to meet the World Champion of Public Speaking and get some ideas from him. Now I was a little concerned that this was 70 miles away, so I couldn't have a hands-on approach. I had to get my committee and trust them to do a lot of the work in Grand Rapids. I couldn't see what was going on. In my book, the first project you look at, there's 5 dimensions to leadership. They're vision, appreciation, direction, support, and development. And I had to grade myself on how I thought I was before the project and then see how I was after. And I ranked very well in appreciation. I'm good at thanking people for their work. And I graded the lowest on vision, which was goal setting, letting people know, my team know where we're going and how I'm going to get there. Now, I won't lie to you, this is a lot of work on this project. And there were times there I spent an hour, 2 hours a night after work going over, is there going to be food at this event? How are we going to set up the tables? And calling my various committee chairs. And at first it was stressful, but as we got closer to the event, it actually was becoming fun. In the same way that musicians practice their instruments, pay lots of money to tune their instruments. It's fun. Things that are passionate to you, I wanted to learn from this, how to do this event and how I could work with other people. What I would advise is, although there were hours where you have to work very hard, about every couple of weeks I just take 3 to 5 days off, not think about it at all, and then come back recharged. I'm going to tell you about 2 obstacles that I had during this event. The first obstacle early on, there was, I was having trouble getting some chairs for the conference. I had 4 or 5, and I got an email from my graphics chair, and the email said, "I'm sorry, Greg, but this is a lot more work than I thought it's going to be, and I'm real busy at my own work, so I'm going to have to resign." And at first I thought, it's falling apart on me already. I'm way over here in Lansing, and I knew this was going to happen. But after 30 minutes, the pity party stopped, and I thought, okay, I'm not going to accept this resignation. So I emailed her back and said, we really need your help. You're very experienced in graphic design. You can only do as much as you can do, and any little bit will help, because one thing she can do is one thing that I don't have to do, or my committee. And so she graciously replied, okay, that's I feel a lot better now. And she actually did a great job as graphics chair. And so I was kind of proud of myself in that instance that I had gotten over that obstacle. A second obstacle, the district governor, Carol Prahinsky, bless her heart. We had call-ins every month in the beginning, and it got more, and she would call in and kind of take charge of the meetings, which is fine because I'm not that experienced, so I appreciated her input. But as we got later on, I realized she would be calling in and calling some shots. And I at some point I realized I knew more than she did about the event. And I would say, okay, Carol, that's a good idea, but you know, I know how about we do it this way? And since I was the leader, I felt comfortable explaining why we should do it this way. Some successes I've had for the event. Well, like I said, we had conference calls every month or so, and it's only an hour, and there's so many people on the line, we really didn't get a lot to say. So I called individual committee members every few weeks, about 20 minutes at a time, and that helped a lot in getting the agendas together and how we were going to do things. Another great success came when Ryan Avery's operations manager called me and said, Greg, these events, you know, they kind of run themselves. We've done so many, they run themselves. They're really not hard, they're easy. And even though that's not true, they didn't run themselves. It just changed my attitude that, oh, it's not gonna be all hectic. And there was an agenda based on past meetings. So that really helped my attitude. So to conclude, I improved in all 5 dimensions in the book. From the ones I was good at, the appreciation I improved, and the goal setting, sharing my vision, I improved. I think the thing that worked best about getting guests there was Toastmasters' personal word of mouth, just inviting your friends, saying there's a great speaker. Ads worked to a point, but just the Toastmasters getting the word out to their friends brought a lot of non-Toastmasters. And there was about 250 people there, which was the second highest attendance out of about 20 weeks or 20 events they'd had. So we did really well. I will close with a quote that Ryan Avery used at his presentation there. He said, people want to help you, let them know what you want to do. In the past, I had trouble asking people. A lot of times, it's hard to ask someone to help you because you're afraid they're busy. But if you let them know and give them a specific task, then they're more apt to realize, okay, I only have to do this. So I would ask you, don't miss your chance to do one of these leadership projects. It really helped me. Back to you.
Thank you, Greg. Please take a couple of minutes to write your evaluations.